AM 1450, FM 99.3, KNSI. Welcome to another edition of Taking You Home, courtesy of VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear the show every Thursday morning at 7:23, Saturdays also at 7:50. And remember, start that home search at VoigtJohnson.com. Brandon, good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
All right, you have brought with you one of my favorite things, and that is a question from one of your customers, right?
Yes.
Okay. May I?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. A home just came on the market that appears to be everything we've wanted.
Right.
Oh, been there, done that. We were not actively looking to move, so our current home is likely not ready to sell for another month or longer. We are pre-approved to purchase this home without selling our current home. However, that is not our preference. What options and recommendations do you have for us, Brandon?
Yeah, so this is a situation we see more than you would think.
Yeah.
It's a very common situation, and with the internet and social media now, people that are not actively, like this couple, were not actively looking for a home. Something popped up, caught their eye, and they fell in love with the home and said, oh my goodness, what do? We weren't actively looking, right?
Yeah.
Which is ironic because that's how my wife and I bought our home. Our current home. We weren't looking, and something just came on, and kind of similar situation. So there's a lot going on in that situation. We talked about being ready for your home, but a lot of people aren't if you're not actively looking, right? So the first question I would have is to do some due diligence on the home that they fell in love with.
Okay.
Is that a home that's going to sell really quickly with multiple offers, or is that a home that is likely, for whatever reason, could be the price point, could just be a unique home,
right,
that may take 30, 60, 90 days to sell? So that's something I would first want to identify and do an analysis kind of on that, as how saleable or the time frame of that home is.
Gotcha.
The main thing is I want to find out what is the seller's situation, because they may have flexibility. They may be building and put their home on, you don't know their
right
situation. They could be looking for a rent back where they will live there and rent it back to the buyer. So there's a lot. Just don't assume just because you're not ready to sell your home that it won't work or you can't make it work.
Okay, well, one of the things in this statement is that, we don't think our house is going to be likely to be sellable, right, for another month or so. A lot of time, and tell me this, in a situation like this, a lot of times are the sellers like in a hurry, do you know? Or so they want to hurry up and get this deal closed as soon as possible, or no?
Yeah, and so that's what you got to unpack and find out, what the seller's situation is. These buyers, you're basically, time is not your ally. So they've done the right thing by getting pre-approved. So they do have the option, if they want to own two homes.
Right.
Obviously, it's not most people's prerogative to do so. It can be
two house payments? Oh, what fun.
It can be very stressful, but there's a lot of options you have. So the first thing, like I said, is to find out what the seller's situation is. Is it something they can do an extended closing where you may have to pay up to get that, to buy the flexibility, and that's something I would discuss with them. If it's your dream home, you may have to pay up to get the flexibility, and let's say, you can guarantee that you're going to close on the home, but let's say it's 120 days. Well, if the seller gets their price, they may be willing and able to wait 3-4 months to close on it.
Right.
And then that gives you time to sell your home in that time frame to get the funds from the sale of your house. One other option is, if they're not, you can put in a contingent offer on the sale of your home. And this is something that's probably more realistic, is you put in a contingent offer on the sale of your home. And then what happens if another buyer, what we call, attempts to bump you, you put in the language, and this is what our agents, we try and craft in there specific to our clients' needs, is you have the option then at that point to get a loan and own two homes.
Okay.
So you write it up as if you have to sell your home, but if push comes to shove and you're forced to and you really want the home, then only as a last resort do you own two homes. Try and negotiate a longer closing date and all of that, but you can make it work. We make this work all the time. It's really finding out about what that seller situation is, and then what options you have. But a lot of times, Bob, it's going to involve paying up, like I mentioned, to get that, to buy the flexibility to get that home.
Now, here's something that is puzzling to me. We are pre-approved to purchase this home without selling our current home. However, that is not our preference.
Correct.
Why? Why would that be?
Well, because you're going to have
I mean,
two
if you're,
more.
but if you're sitting good, right? You've already got that house. I'm thinking. I automatically think, well, our house is we've got so much equity and it won't matter.
Yeah.
You know that when it comes time for us to sell our existing home, it won't be a problem. But now I see what you're saying, because that double payment is going to be a
Yeah,
problem.
the double
Or could be.
payment. The double payment. In this situation, these people had a fair amount of equity that they would have put down for a down payment. So their loan, when they originated, would be greater loan to value, meaning they
Yeah.
wouldn't have borrowed as much as they would need to,
Right.
and so their payment. So they may have to refinance a second time once their home sells, which incurs some cost to do so.
Costs.
So again, it's how much do you want the home? In order to get the home, there may be some additional costs to do it, but we can give you options to make it happen regardless.
You know, I knew if I asked the question, I would get the answer, right? Which is exactly why, folks, we would urge you to work with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. And you've got a ton of agents out there, right?
Absolutely. We have about 25 agents, all seasoned with the skill set. We pride ourselves on knowing how to navigate every real estate transaction.
So do we just give you a call?
You can reach us at 320-774-2400 or online at VoigtJohnson.com.
You've been listening to Taking You Home with VoigtJohnson Real Estate. You can hear it every Thursday and Saturday mornings on KNSI, 7:23 Thursday morning, Saturday 7:50. Start that home search, VoigtJohnson.com. Brandon, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.